Welcome to my YouTube channel Mathma. I am Rahul Naik. This is lecture 9A from the lecture series Calculus of One Variable, and in this lecture we will be discussing the notion of absolute value of a real number, which is also called as the modulus of a real number. So, absolute value or the modulus is defined for any real number, and it is defined in this way. For any x in R, we define absolute value of x in this way. So, this is the notation for absolute value of x. We call it as mod of x. We read it as mod of x or the modulus of x. Okay. So, it is basically a function which gives you the value for each x. It gives a value x if x is positive, and it is minus x if x is negative, and definitely if x is equal to 0, you can put that, insert that 0 either in this inequality or this inequality, because both will give me 0. So, because of this definition, it is also observed as a maximum of minus x comma x, because you can see that mod of x, even though if it is positive or negative, it is going to take the higher value. If x is positive, among x and minus x, x is the maximum. So, therefore, mod of x is the maximum, and if x is negative, among x and minus x, minus of x is going to be positive, and therefore, it is going to be a maximum of minus x comma x. So, that is one thing that one need to observe. The other thing is that this mod of x is always positive from the definition, and in fact, you can see that mod of x is also same as mod of minus x. So, that we would see shortly. Before that, the geometrical idea of mod of x is the distance of x from the origin. Suppose this is my origin and x is lying over here, then this distance is x, and if in a similar way, if x is lying to the left of 0, then this distance is again x. We cannot have distance negative, right? It is positive or it will be equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 when the x is equal to 0 itself. So, mod of x is observed in R is observed as a distance of that, so of that quantity from origin, and that is why it is called as the magnitude of that vector if we talk in terms of a vector. So, now we need to show that mod of minus x. From here I would show mod of minus x is also equal to mod of x. So, mod of x minus x by definition, instead of x now I have a minus x. So, this is by definition minus x if minus x is positive. I am just inserting x minus x in place of x, and it is going to be minus of minus x if minus x is less than or equal to 0. Basically, what is this? This is same as writing this would be minus x. Now, minus x is positive, that would be same as saying x is negative, because when you multiply with minus 1, that would reverse the inequality, and you will have x less than 0, and same way minus of minus x, that same as plus x, and when minus x is less than or equal to 0, that is same as saying x greater than or equal to 0. So, this is exactly same as saying mod of x, because you can now note down that minus of x when x is less than 0, here it is less than or equal to 0. Absolutely, when x is equal to 0, the value is 0. So, I can insert that 0 anywhere, and x when x is strictly greater than 0, in this case greater than or equal to 0. So, that is exactly same as mod of x. So, this proves that mod of minus x is same as mod of x. Now, if we observe this as a function which takes a value from x to mod of x, then since it is a maximum of x comma minus x, it can be derived from this graph, from the graph of the line x is equal to y and x is equal to minus y. So, this is the line, say I would draw in white, in red, the line line x is equal to y. Suppose this is my x is equal to y, and I would draw x is equal to minus y somewhere here. This is my line, x is equal to minus y. So, or y is equal to minus x. I would take y is equal to minus x. So, y is equal to x and y is equal to minus x. So, you need to take the maximum of this x and minus x. So, when x is lying over this line, when x is greater than 0, you see that the maximum is this part, that is y equal to x, and when x is lying becoming less than 0, now among these two region, this is the, that is y equal to minus x is the maximum, and therefore, the graph of modulus of x is y equal to mod of x is this what is appearing in black, this V shape, and it's keep on extending. I mean it will keep on going unless we restrict the domain. So, that is a graph of mod of x. So, next we see the property of this absolute value or the modulus value. So, there are altogether 8 properties which we need to prove. So, I would take one by one. The first property says that mod of a plus b, mod of a into b, that is mod of the product of real number is same as the product of its mod. And so, how do we prove this? So, the proof, I would take it over here, proof of all the things. So, the first one, claim mod of a b is equal to mod of a into mod of b. Now, this we would prove in a very simple way. What we will do, we would consider all the cases for a and b. So, the first case among that is when one of the a or b is equal to 0. So, if a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0, in that case it is very easy to see that left hand side is equal to right hand side. So, in that case then a b would be equal to 0, and therefore, mod of a b would be same as 0. Similarly, mod of a in either mod of a will be 0, also mod of a will be 0 or mod of b will be 0, one of them will be 0, and therefore, their product will also be 0. This says from this implication and this implication, we have mod of a b is equal to mod of a into mod of b. In a similar way, we would discuss all the other possible cases. So, we have taken one cases when either of this a or b is positive. So, case 2, all the cases. Now, I would take the case when both a and b are positive. The next case will be when both are negative, and there will be only 2 remaining cases, that one of them is positive and the other one is negative. Now, I will not discuss when I mean one of them is equal to 0 and the other, because that is involved in case 1. So, case 2, when a is strictly greater than 0 and b is strictly greater than 0, right. So, in this case, since a is positive, what can you say about mod of a b? Or first thing, this would implies that their product a b is positive. We want to know, see, 0 is the breaking point for the modulus of any number, because when x is lying to the right, mod of x is x, and when x is lying to the left of 0, mod of x is equal to minus x. So, when x change the direction with respect to 0, then x mod of x will change the sign, and therefore, when mod of a b is positive, this implies that mod of a b should be same as a into b, the same real number. Okay. Also, since a is positive, this implies that mod of a is equal to a, and b is positive, this implies that mod of b is equal to b. Now, therefore, you can compute the product mod of a into mod of b, which is same as a into b from here, and a into b from here is same as mod of a b. I would call this as star, and this is from star. So, this way you prove that case 2 is also true. The remaining case, case 3, where a is negative and b is negative. In this case again we know that whenever both the numbers are negative, this implies that the product are positive, and therefore mod of a b should be same as a into b, the same number. Now also note that a is negative implies that mod of a is minus a, and b is negative implies that mod of b is minus b. And so therefore the product mod of a into mod of b would be same as minus a into minus b, which would be same as minus into minus will become 1, which would be same as a into b, and therefore that same as mod of a b from, I would call this as 3 from this 3. The next case is when one is positive and one is negative. So I would take case 4 as a is positive and b is negative. So in this case mod of a, therefore mod of a will be a and mod of b will be minus b. Okay, also note that, so therefore the product mod of a into mod of b would be same as a into minus b, which is same as minus into ab. So I would call this as 4. Now also note that also when one of the term is negative, the product have to be negative. So therefore this implies that mod of ab has to be same as minus of this real number ab, and that's exactly same as your mod of a, mod of b from 4. So we have proved that the result is true even for the case 4. Now case 5, in which you would assume in a similar like case 4, that is a is negative and b is positive. So when one of them is negative, this would implies that the product ab is negative, and therefore mod of ab should be equal to minus of ab. And now also since a is negative, this implies that mod of a is same as minus a, and since b is positive, mod of b should be same as b, and therefore mod of a into mod of b is same as minus a into b, which can be written as minus of ab, and that's exactly same as mod of ab. So this is from 5. So therefore from 5 this is true, and therefore we say that in each of these cases mod of ab, so therefore for any a comma b in R, we have mod of ab is equal to mod of a into mod of b. So next we prove the next result is second one. In that case the claim is, let's see the claim, plus mod of a square is equal to a square. So that's simply the application of the first one. Mod of a square is actually same as, we want to show that mod of a the whole square, sorry, this is not mod of a square, we want to show that, okay, I'll write down the claim here. Claim mod of a the whole square is equal to a square, if I'm not wrong. So you know, for any real number a, mod of a square, so mod of a is considered to be a real number in this case. So it's a product of the square of mod. So this is same as mod of a into mod of a. Now here in place of b you have a. So again I can apply the first property and I can say that this is same as a into a, right, and therefore this is same as a square. Now one thing is always true for a, for a real number a, that its square is always greater than or equal to 0. So therefore its mod is always the number as it is. Okay, the reason here is since a square is greater than or equal to 0. See, we are simply using the definition mod of x will be equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0. So in this case we know that a square is greater than or equal to 0, mod of a square have to be same as a square. So that proves that mod of a the whole square is equal to a square. Now to prove the next line which says that mod of a is equal to root of a square, that follows from here. So thus we have mod of a square is equal to a square. Now taking square root on both the side, positive square root, you get mod of a is equal to root of a square. That's it. Next thing we want to show that from here, so we have proved 1 and 2, 1, 2 is proved. The third one, we want to show that plus or minus a is less than or equal to mod of a. So, third one, claim. I write down here the claim so that I get to know what exactly I have to prove. Plus or minus a is less than or equal to mod of a. So, what exactly we need to show here is that plus a is also is less than or equal to mod of a, as well as minus a is less than or equal to mod of a. Okay, and that again follows from the definition, as we know that since mod of a is same as maximum of a comma minus a, and what's the definition of maximum of something? Say maximum of a comma minus a is the highest, is the maximum term among a and minus a. So, by definition a has to be less than or equal to maximum of a comma minus a, right? A is one term among a and minus a. So, if a is positive, maximum term is a itself, and if a is negative, then the maximum is minus a. So, in both the cases, either it is going to be equal or it is going to be strictly less than this term, and therefore, we have less than or equal to maximum of a comma minus a, which is nothing but mod of a, right? And therefore, also minus a is also less than, because minus a is one term among this a comma minus a. If I compare it with its maximum, then it has to be less than or equal to the maximum, that is equal to mod a, and therefore, we have plus or minus both is less than or equal to mod of a. So, that is the third one. Fourth one talks about the inequality, which says that minus of mod of a is less than or equal to a is less than or equal to mod of a. So, obviously, this has to be true, because we know that a is a negative quantity, and for any a has to be less than or equal to mod of a. If a is any real number, mod of a is always positive quantity, and therefore, we do not know whether a is positive or negative. So, mod of a has to be greater than or equal to a, and from this inequality you can very easily show that a is greater than or equal to mod of minus a. So, that is what is our next claim. So, I would write down here claim. What exactly we want to show is that minus of mod of a is less than or equal to a, which is less than or equal to mod of a. So, from 3 we have a less than or equal to mod of a. So, that satisfies this part, and minus a less than or equal to mod of a. So, this part we would get it from here, but this is not exactly same as this. So, what we need to do is that we need to simply multiply the second inequality by minus sign, minus 1. So, that gives me a into, because minus 1 is negative, this inequality will be reversed and you will have mod of minus a. So, do we get this inequality now? See, we have minus of mod of a is less than or equal to a, which is less than or equal to mod of a. Therefore, minus of mod of a is less than or equal to a from here, and this is less than or equal to mod of a from here, and that is what. So, that proves the fourth one. Second one is very interesting and we use it most of the time. So, fifth one. So, fifth one says that we want to show that mod of x is less than epsilon if and only if x belongs to a minus epsilon comma a, not a minus, in this case it is, this is the particular case of this, minus epsilon comma, okay, for every epsilon positive, and that is understood epsilon have to be positive, because when you say mod of x is less than epsilon, since mod is positive, epsilon have to be positive. So, I would take the first case, this is the claim actually, okay, this is what we need to show. So, this is a biconditional statement. So, I would first assume that this statement is true, and we would prove that this is true. By the way, if equality sign is also considered, then here we would have a closed interval, okay, the endpoints are included. Okay. So, basically what does this say is that if whenever x lies in this interval minus epsilon comma epsilon, whenever x is lying over here, that time I can say that mod of x is less than epsilon. And this is called as, there is a very interesting term for this based on this epsilon. See, epsilon can be whatever positive real number, it might be very small. In that case, this interval would be very small, and therefore this interval is called as the epsilon neighborhood of 0 or centered at 0. Okay, epsilon neighborhood of 0, centered at 0. Basically, the center is 0, and therefore it's called, and the distance, the radius is epsilon. From this side also it is epsilon distance, and this side also it is epsilon distance. Okay. And the next one, in the next case where we are discussing the interval a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon, there the center is a, and therefore that's called as the epsilon neighborhood of a, or epsilon neighborhood centered at a. So we would prove this part, and we'll go for the next one. So first we have the direct implication. We assume mod of x less than epsilon. Now basically this implies what this would implies. Basically, you know that mod of x is same as maximum of x comma minus x. So this is less than epsilon, and so therefore you know, this x which is less than or equal to maximum of x comma minus x has to be less than epsilon, as well as minus x which is less than or equal to maximum of x comma minus x has to be less than epsilon. We are using the definition of x, mod of x, which says that mod of x is equal to maximum of x comma minus x, and we know that each of this number that is lying under the maximum has to be less than or equal to its maximum, and so therefore, which now since it is strictly less than, we have this. So therefore we have x less than epsilon, strictly less than, because we have strictly less than in the row. So that's a dominating then equality, and also we have minus x strictly less than epsilon. So can we get something from here? So that is, I can say that we want x to be less than epsilon, and here I want minus epsilon to be less than epsilon. So I would just multiply this quantity by this inequality by minus 1. So I would have x greater than minus epsilon, because minus 1 is negative quantity, and so when you multiply it to the inequality, it will reverse the inequality. So that is same as x is less than epsilon and minus epsilon is less than x. So now is it, yeah. So now if I start from here, see, I need to preserve the inequality. So if I start from here, I have minus epsilon is less than x, and this is exactly the law of transitivity, and x is less than, only thing you need to write down this first and this second. So I have skipped that step. So that is same as saying x belongs to, by the definition of interval, this is minus epsilon comma epsilon. So that's the first part. Now conversely, we want to show that whenever x is lying in this, we have mod of x less than epsilon. So that is the next claim. So conversely, if x lies in between minus epsilon comma epsilon, that is x is in between epsilon and minus epsilon. So we write it down here. So what this implies? This implies that minus epsilon is less than x and x is less than epsilon. So steps are exactly the reversed way, and this same as epsilon is greater than minus x, and okay, here I can say that epsilon is greater than x. Okay. So now what we want to show is that we want to show that mod of x is less than epsilon. Now just look at this, epsilon is strictly greater than minus x, as well as epsilon is strictly greater than x. So what this would say, how can I consider this with maximum of minus x comma x? So maximum of minus x comma x definitely is one among this minus x or x, and since epsilon is greater than both this minus x and x, this should implies that epsilon have to be less greater than maximum of both minus x comma x. Okay. And this implies that which is nothing but mod of x. So, this implies that epsilon is greater than mod of x, and that implies that mod of x is less than epsilon. So, the same result, in the same result, if inequality is if here equality is considered, then instead of open interval we would have closed interval. So, the result would be modified in this way: x belongs to minus epsilon comma epsilon if and only if mod of x is less than or equal to epsilon. This is a very important result we use most of the time when we deal with modulus. So, next is the generalized result, wherein we need to show the sixth one, we need to show that mod of x minus is less than epsilon if and only if x belongs to a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon. So, for that I just use the above result because we have used certain idea of the same result. So, mod of x minus epsilon is less than epsilon. So, the above result if and only if, because the above result is if and only. So, I can prove this in one stretch. So, we know that mod of x is less than epsilon if and only if x is less than epsilon and greater than minus epsilon. Okay. So, instead of x here we have mod of x. So, I am going to apply this result for x minus a. I will just consider x as x minus a in that result. So, that would imply x minus a belongs to minus epsilon comma epsilon. That is same as by definition of interval minus epsilon is strictly less than x minus a, which is strictly less than epsilon. So, if I add all the, if I add throughout with plus a, then I will get minus epsilon plus a, which is less than or equal to x minus a plus a, that same as x, because I want to see where does this x vary. So, therefore, this is same as e plus epsilon. So, that is exactly same as saying x lies in between a minus, this can be written as a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon. So, that is basically if you have a, then if this distance is epsilon, on the left hand side we would have minus epsilon at the same distance. So, this is the interval a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon. So, whenever x belongs to here, I can say that mod of x less than mod of x minus a less than epsilon, and if the endpoints are included, in that case we include the equality over here also. This is basically called as the neighborhood or the open ball of a, epsilon neighborhood of a. Okay. So, this is called as epsilon neighborhood of a, or it is also called as the open ball around a with the radius epsilon. So, I would prove the remaining properties of absolute value in the next class, in the next session of this video, the same lecture. Thank you for watching this. Stay tuned for the next session, wherein we are going to discuss the rest of the property.